Hello, YouTube. Ants operate on each other like humans, and the survival rate of such surgeries is amazing. You see, professors at the University of Würzburg have documented the medical operations of ants, but it turns out that this is not all of their superpowers. I've told you that before in my other videos. Scientists have discovered that ants have a system of medical care, and besides humans, these are the only creatures on Earth who perform medical amputations in order to save the life of a wounded fellow tribesman. This ability was discovered in ants by a team of researchers led by Erich Frank, professor of behavior ecology at the University of Würzburg in Germany. It was known earlier that these ants provide first aid to each other, lick the wounds of their comrades using antimicrobial secretions from a special gland. But some species of ants lack this gland. How do they get out of the situation? How do they solve it? Scientists conducted a curious experiment. They made incisions on the legs of ants in different places and watched what would happen next. It turned out that the treatment tactics differed depending on the nature of the injury. If the hip was injured, so to say, then caring comrades chewed off the poor fellow's limb. This happened in 76% of cases. At the same time, the survival rate after such an operation reached 95%. This can be considered a very successful outcome. After all, an ant can run without losing one of the legs, unless the load capacity is reduced. Curiously, if the injury was inflicted in the shin area below the hip, then amputation by ants was never used. When the puzzled scientists tried to remove the limbs damaged in this place themselves, the survival rate of insects decreased. Apparently, this is due to the peculiarities of hemolymph circulation. And the surgical ants, or ants surgeons, knew about it. Therefore, they used only therapeutic methods. They licked the wound. In this case, the survival rate was 75%. If ants were not treated, the survival rate was 45% for hip injuries and 15% if the shin was injured. Their study has shown that the ants have the ability to access the location of wounds and, depending on this, choose treatment tactics. It looks like meaningful behavior, but they still think it's a manifestation of an innate instinct, said Professor Frank, and yet this is the only medical care system that they, scientists, know besides human. Well, to me, it looks like meaningful behavior. Please see my video about Formic teleportation. The link is in the description to this video. But let's look at more scientific research into this fascinating ability. Swiss scientists from the University of Lausanne have found that on Earth, along with humans, there's another species that performs medical operations to save relatives. They turned out to be ants. The study was published in the scientific journal Current Biology. During the observations, the team found that Florida carpenter ants, Camponotus floridanus, recognize wounds on the limbs of their fellow tribesmen and then treat them by cleaning or amputation. The researchers stressed that they have discovered a one-of-a-kind example of systematic amputations in the insect world. A year earlier, the same group of scientists proved that the African ants Megaponera analis are able to treat infection in relatives with the help of a disinfectant produced in their glands. Carpenter ants do not have such glands, so experts decided to find out how they treat affected individuals. Experiments have shown that insects clean up damage with mandibles and in some cases bite off an injured limb. Thanks to this treatment, the survival rate of ants increased from less than 40% to 95% in the case of amputation, and from 15 to 75% with a single wound treatment. Ants are able to diagnose a wound, determine whether it's infected or sterile, and treat it appropriately for a long time with the help of other individuals. The only medical system that can compete with them is the human one. According to the authors of the article, the researchers added that the ant's ability to selectively recognize and treat wounds is innate, and they found no evidence of learning. Well, maybe ants learn in other ways than humans, and we cannot judge everything by ourselves. So that's what I wanted to let you know today, and I will bring you more interesting information about ants, their behavior, sometimes not understood by us, and much more. If you like my research, please support me in the links you'll find in the description to this video. Please like my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.